As we all know, society is rapidly changing. We need to educate our generations so they can strive in today's society. However, the school system still teaches a sex education curriculum that was formed in the 19th century. In 2011 to 2013, among unmarried 15 to 19-year-olds, 44% of females and 49% of males had sexual intercourse. These levels have remained steady since 2002, but still, we see no change in the way we teach our new generation. Children at this age need to be educated on their sexuality, but the sex ed programs in school don't teach them enough. That's why I feel the need to uncover the reasons why sex education should be taken more seriously in America.
I do not think teaching abstinence-based sex education in a traditional way is effective because the traditional ways often have a lot of fear and shame built into the curriculum.
We know that mostly what you hear about sexuality is negative. You're going to get, sexually transmitted diseases, you're going to get pregnant. And all those things are important to know about, but it's also important to know that you can actually have fun.
In my sophomore health class, we didn't even touch sex with a 10-foot pole.
Abstinence-based education only just does not work, because the reality is that is not what's happening in this country, in most countries, so people need more knowledge.
The truth is, teens between the ages of 15 and 17 don't receive formal sexual health instruction until after they've already become sexually active. Teens get most of their sex ed online, and it's not accurate. Most teens learn about STIs and HIV in school, but not about contraception, and the use of condoms is still taboo in most schools. Teen pregnancy rates are higher in states with abstinence-only education, and in some states, teachers aren't even allowed to mention the word abortion. It makes you think about how little our generation is learning.
At Planned Parenthood, we teach sex education programs for 5th graders all the way up to adults. Some of what we teach in sex ed, kids are not going to use tomorrow, but we still think they need that information, right? So that they can have the families they want to have, they can have the relationships they want to have, and they can also, kind of have that agency over themselves.
So the Our Whole Lives program was devised by the Unitarian Universalist Society and United Church of Christ in the 1990s to provide more knowledge, to define what your values are around your sexuality, and then to learn about what other people's sexuality is.
I would say to parents who really are wondering if it's a good idea to have their kid do sex ed, I think I would say you don't have to. There's lots of ways you can look online for accurate information together. You can provide books. You can provide opportunities to talk to other family members like aunties or uncles or big sisters if they're not comfortable talking to you.
Telling a child do not have sex will only affect the children that are going to say no anyways. The child that was already going to say yes will not be affected by this biased message. This is why it is important to educate every child on how they can safely engage in sexual intercourse and how they can communicate with people about these topics.
Not talking about sex is even more harmful than saying, don't have sex.
They should teach us about STDs, because a lot of people get them because they weren't educated on them and don't know how to take precautions. And also I think they should teach students how to use contraception and how we can access birth control pills.
Only 19% of U.S. secondary schools provide curricula or supplementary sex education materials that are LGBT inclusive. Fewer than 5% of LGBT students have health classes that include positive representations of LGBT-related topics. This leaves many LGBT youth without the skills to maintain healthy relationships and protect themselves if they are engaging in sexual activity. Many students also don't receive education on topics like gender.
Sexuality is a spectrum. It's a spectrum of how you feel about your gender.
Sex education programs should be inclusive of LGBTQ people. That means talking about sexual orientation, who people are attracted to, and it means talking about gender. Having a discussion about gender allows all of us to really think about the boxes that we may be in, the binary boxes, like man, woman, and what that means, and the extent to which maybe those boxes aren't even comfortable for us.
Some people say not all humans are sexual. There are people who are asexual.
Sex education is an important step in a child's education. 40% delayed sexual initiation, reduced number of sexual partners, or increased condom or contraceptive use. 30% reduced the frequency of sex, and 60% reduced unprotected sex. Sex education doesn't make students want to engage in intercourse. It makes them more prepared if they decide that they want to engage in it. A parent's job is to help their children navigate life safely and happily. Parents sometimes don't have a say in their children's sexual life, but they do have a say in how their children can have those encounters safely. That is why it is so imperative for parents to have conversations with their kids about sex.
What a skank. She's basically asking for it.
Being dressed a certain way isn't asking for anything.
God, how could she go out dressed like this? How could she feel good about herself? If I went out dressed like that, I would be so ashamed of myself.
You don't even know her.
Just because I don't know her doesn't mean I don't know her intentions. What intentions? She's probably one of those sex workers. No morals whatsoever. She's out here trying to get attention.
I think she looks pretty confident. She's probably just doing it for herself.
Why would I be looking at her if this was for herself?
You shouldn't be staring at a girl that looks that young anyway. Kind of makes you out to be a little bit of a creep.
I'm a creep because I have an opinion? I don't think that women should be selling themselves like this. It's not a way to get a guy like me.
Oh my God. Don't tell me you're becoming one of those. I don't even know why I hang out with you anymore.
She's out here dressed like a slutty clown. I wouldn't let her walk out like that.
All right, dude, you don't even know her.
And deciding how she lives her life is none of your business. I just feel like because of people like her, our generation's doomed. Okay, what is she doing that hurts you? Is she gonna hurt your fragile ego? She's too full of herself. I bet she's too bipolar to get a guy like me anyway. Putting yourself higher than another individual is being pretty full of yourself. At least I have self-respect. I bet if you went and talked to her, she wouldn't be anything like what you think. She would never approach a man like me. Look, dude, you're being extremely stupid right now. This doesn't make a very good image of us.
All right, maybe we didn't have that good of an image of ourselves in the first place.
Anyways, I don't think you should just take one look at someone and think that you know everything about him.
Besides, if she took a look at us, she would probably think we're kind of a creep.
The light just turned red. I have to walk next to her now.
Here you go. Thanks. No worries. Well, I'm Ryan and this is Jessica.
You can call me Jess.
I'm Zaylee.
Whoa, that's a sick name.
Thanks.
So, where are you moving from?
Los Angeles.
Damn, that's cool. What brought you here?
Well, my grandma's paying for all my school tuition as long as it's in Utah. But honestly, Utah's the last place I don't want to live.
Why?
No offense, but the Mormons are why.
Why would we take offense to that?
Aren't you guys Mormon? I thought everyone in Utah was Mormon.
Well, actually, Utah is pretty diverse.
Really?
Yeah, girl, come sit down. You see that house right there? The family that lives there isn't Mormon. They're actually Muslim.
Wow, that's really cool.
And that house next to it is owned by a gay couple.
Really? Why would they live here? I thought Mormons were against gay people.
No, the church doesn't necessarily support it, but a lot of Mormons accept it.
Wow, that's really awesome.
Yeah, and that house over there, the wife is an environmental engineer working to stop global warming, and the husband is a fashion designer.
Are you serious? That's
Yeah.
so cool.
And that house right there, a Mormon family does live there, a stereotypical stay-at-home mom, white-collar dad, and a ton of kids.
But the mom is actually in the process of building an app that women in abusive relationships can use to get help.
That's so cool.
Yeah, everyone just assumes Utah is a bunch of white Mormon polygamists.
Guilty. I didn't realize how many different people live here, and that Mormons can actually be really cool.
Yeah, and this is just one neighborhood. Wait till you see the city.